I'm pointing to the direction of what I believe is the Capitol. And what needs to happen in terms of people who otherwise have evidenced themselves having a feckless quality to show some courage to reject the false notion that suggests you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away, when in fact it's just reasonable. I support the Second Amendment, but it's reasonable to say we need an assault weapons ban. It's reasonable to say we need universal background checks, that we need red flag laws. It's reasonable to say that if you want to deal with violence in the community, you also got to understand it's not only about mass.
No, Lordy, heaven help us. The walking word salad is making her move. That according to numerous reports. We're going to take a look at the latest on Cackle's Kamala positioning herself as the Plan B Biden backup. And we're going to see why things are not going to work out quite the way she hopes. You're not going to want to miss this. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, as you know, our founding fathers created the American Constitution for the very purpose that our rights as citizens would be protected at the fundamental level. Over these past few years, however, we directly witnessed the growing threats posed to those rights. To fight back against this creep against our freedoms, I partnered with a group of amazing patriots who have formed the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC, as it's known, is America's leading senior advocacy and benefits organization, and it acts as a conservative, patriotic alternative to the AARP. AMAC, on top of being a proud Turley Talk sponsor today's video, pays attention to the voices of their members and champions patriot concerns on Capitol Hill. AMAC provides its members with top-notch insurance and travel benefits, as well as numerous other services, all without the big government agenda of the AARP. Just click on the link below to join today. Membership is immensely affordable and provides you with superior benefits and a community of over 2 million members just like you who are dedicated to preserving our traditional American values. Between Biden's stagflation, the open border, and the disastrous situation brewing overseas, it's safe to say mainstream Washington advocacy groups are not putting your interests first. But click on that link below and you can help bring that travesty to an end. Join AMAC today and help save our great nation. Click on that link or visit amac.us/Turley and choose the right plan for you and, most importantly, for our nation. As you know, the bombshell report describing Biden's obvious declining mental capacities continues to bombard the White House this week, made all the worse by his train wreck of a press conference that was ironically supposed to assuage those concerns. A new poll conducted by ABC News released yesterday after that disastrous train wreck found that now 86% of voters agree that Biden is too old and senile to be reelected. Now, that poll stunningly shows a 10-point surge in concerns over Biden's cognitive condition since the NBC poll that came out early last week, which showed that 76% of voters were concerned about Biden's cognitive decline. A 10-point surge in a single week marked by a devastating report and an even more devastating press conference. And so we've been talking about this on our channel here now for several days. I actually chatted about this with Dinesh D'Souza yesterday. We'll have that interview for you later on this week. But the key here is that this really is a 5-alarm fire for the Biden administration. I mean, seriously, precisely because Biden's age and obvious senility represent his Achilles heel. So if you want to sink Biden politically, it's not the border, though that's bad enough. It certainly damages his ship. But if you actually want to see a direct hit that sinks the ship, it's not the border. It's not inflation or recession. It's not our collapsing cities and the epidemic of violent crime that's sweeping our nation. It's not Ukraine or Hamas or Yemen. Precisely because all these things can be reversed, right? That's key. All of them. Even Biden, if he wanted to, if there were enough pressure brought to bear, even he could reverse these disastrous policies. He could reverse Bidenomics. He could reverse easily the disaster at the southern border. He could reverse his disastrous foreign policy. All these things could be reversed. The reason why Biden's age and senility are his Achilles heel is what? Because they can't be reversed. They're only going to get worse. So now, in light of Biden's colossal political collapse, we're getting reports that none other than Kamala Harris, the deliberately forgotten sideline vice president, the queen of diversity hires, is ready to bring that cackle out of the basement and straight into the White House. The Wall Street Journal conducted an interview with Cackle's Kamala just 2 days after the bombshell Her report that found Biden frankly unfit to stand trial for illegally stashing classified documents in his garage. And the Journal bluntly asked Harris if she was prepared to serve in light of Biden's obvious decline. And Harris is quoted as saying, "I am ready to serve. There's no question about it. Everyone who sees me on the job walks away fully aware of my capacity to lead." I mean, the fact that you even have to say that admits more than she'll ever know. Since that interview was published, a number of outlets are recognizing precisely what's going on here. Kamala's people are making their move. They see Biden as incurably weak, and they're aligning themselves to exploit that weakness in such a way that politically benefits Cackles and her inner circle. Now, if you've been following this channel for some time now, and if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. But if you've been with us for a while, you'll know this is not the first time Cackles has done this. Back in August of 2021, right after Biden's disastrous Afghanistan troop withdrawal, there were reports that Kamala's people were openly discussing basically launching a 25th Amendment coup against Biden. The 25th Amendment, of course, being the constitutional procedure for ousting a president no longer capable of fulfilling his duties. And the pretext for this was, back then like now, Biden's increasingly visible and noticeable cognitive decline. I mean, everyone was seeing it back then. And we know that because the legacy media was doing everything they could to try to spin it. I mean, can you believe this was actually a headline? This from the liberal trash Philadelphia Inquirer. 6 months in, Biden's critics still go after his brain. I only care about his heart. That's an actual freaking headline. It's not the Babylon Bee. And the byline, it's even worse. Republicans fumbling for a Biden attack keep falling back on cognitive decline. We should watch what the president does, not what he says. Because he can't speak. How can the commander-in-chief do anything if he can't communicate? So it's very interesting. I mean, the rumors were swelling that because of Biden's cognitive decline getting increasingly noticeable, as well as the media's lame attempts at spinning it, right, this back in 2021, Kamala's people were making their move. And this potential mutiny inside the White House actually explained at the very same time why Kamala Harris was getting absolutely obliterated by the legacy media. It was right around that time, right after the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal, that for some reason we were getting report after report after report of how incompetent Kamala was. Not Biden, Kamala. Do you remember this? There were reports on how unpopular she was, how much she was hated by her staff that was resigning left and right. And the argument is that Biden's people were feeding the legacy media, particularly reporters that Biden's known for years, all of these unflattering stories about Kamala so as to stave off this impending 25th Amendment coup against Biden. I mean, it's really Game of Thrones stuff, you know, but now it seems to be 2021 all over again. Kamala may indeed be making her move here. She's talking about herself, how she's ready to take command, how she's ready to lead, how she's a natural born leader, how she's competent. That competency keeps coming up. I wonder, in contrast to whom? Unfortunately for Kamala, she may be walking into a political ambush. And that's because if you thought Biden's polling was a disaster, Kamala consistently polls even worse. And Democrat operatives know it. They are horrified at the prospect of a Cackles Kamala White House, and they would do anything to stop that from happening, including continuing to prop up this weekend at Bernie's presidency. So we'll keep an eye on how things develop here, but we're not even 2 months in. And already the predicted craziness of 2024 is living up to expectations. First, gang, as many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in 2 ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those 2 acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.